cheating in education. Something people don't like to talk about, but I think it's become an interesting problem, particularly with distance education and online learning and so on. So sometimes instructors will ask me, well, how do we deal with cheating in our simulations? In fact, occasionally I'll run into a website that sells a cheat to one of my GoVenture simulations. But it actually doesn't worry me because I know my GoVenture simulations have no cheat system. And so whoever's buying that is basically getting scammed and wasting their money. So it's a good life lesson for them. So let me show you why you cannot cheat a GoVenture simulation. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying all simulations you can't cheat. There's many games and simulations you absolutely can cheat if you have the right cheat and you know how to, what to do and how to do it. I'm going to show you how two of our business simulations, or GoVenture ones, cannot use cheats, and why we've designed and how we designed them so that you don't have to worry about that. So what you're looking at here is the first one. This is GoVenture Entrepreneur. Very realistic small business simulation. It actually has multiple levels. So the level we're looking at now is the kiosk business, where you're running like a hot dog stand or ice cream stand. Eventually you can level up to something more complex. But in this particular simulation, you have to do things like manage your products, and you might have anywhere from one product, 3 products, or maybe 10 or 20 products. You have to order inventory from different suppliers. You have to manage employees. You have to do marketing. You have to do finance. You have to figure out how to price your products, how much inventory to buy. So you cannot cheat a simulation like this because there are so many activities that you have to do that you have to continually be engaged in the experience and constantly be making decisions. Many decisions per minute, hundreds or thousands of decisions over the lifespan of playing the simulation for over multiple hours. So even if you kind of had a hint at what the right pricing was and what the right kind of cost of goods might be, what it should be, what the best employees were, and what the best salaries are, you still have to put in the work. You cannot get away from putting in the work. There's no set it and forget it function. So you really can't cheat this system. So what I tell instructors is, if a participant has played this simulation for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 20 hours, and achieved certain objectives and have not gone bankrupt, then you know they did the work, because you could not stay in business in this simulation unless you do the work and make reasonably good business decisions. Of course, if you make wonderful business decisions, you'll have even greater success, but you can't even survive unless you make reasonably good business decisions. And every simulation you run is different. We have weather effects, and we have employee morale issues, customer issues. So again, there is no cheat system. It's impossible to cheat this system because every simulation is going to be played differently. And then you still have to put in the work. So that's an example of a very engaging simulation why you cannot cheat the system. Let me show you something completely different. It's also a business simulation. This one's called the GoVenture CEO. This is very different because this is a high-level strategy simulation. So where entrepreneur was in the trenches, minute by minute, hour by hour, running a business, this is high-level decision making. So you don't have to engage with this simulation as much as you do with entrepreneur. In this simulation that you're looking at here, CEO, it's more of a thinking simulation. So you're spending more time analyzing data, looking at different information, different metrics, and so on, and then choosing to make decisions in different areas of your business. For example, you might have your management screen or your R&D or marketing, and you're investing money in those areas. So you're not spending as much time interacting with the software here, with the simulation here, as you are in the other simulation. Again, you're making more high-level decisions. You could literally punch in your decisions in the software in 5 minutes. But of course, if you don't think about those decisions, you're going to fail. So most people might take 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour to make a decision per period. So what if somebody goes on the internet and says, oh, here's the decisions you make? Well, here's why it won't work with this simulation. This is a head-to-head multiplayer simulation, which means you're competing against other people, usually your classmates, or if it's in a company, your peers, your cohorts. And every decision you make is affecting the market, which is affecting every other player in that same simulation, because it's head-to-head multiplayer. You're all running a similar type of business. You're all chasing similar customers. And so you cannot cheat the system because there is no perfect answer. For example, there is no expected price. So if you're going to sell cars in this simulation, there is no set price for cars. It doesn't matter what cars are in your country or my country. In the real world, in the simulation, there is no expected price. It's all based on supply, demand, and competition. So because of that, every single simulation is completely unique, completely different. There's absolutely no way to cheat the system because you're competing against other humans and you don't know what those humans are going to do and how that's going to affect the simulation. So that's two very different examples of how simulation, with the right design simulation, you don't have to worry about cheating, because if it's designed properly, participants, students cannot cheat the system. I'm Matthew Giorgio. businessXP is the fastest and most inspiring training ever invented for future business leaders and entrepreneurs. Discover game-based experiential learning at business-xp.com.